The second reason we need to know about the data from the ocean is because that politically and economically, the oceans are still like the Wild West. It's the free-for-all out there, and Australia's responsible for 11% of it. And the current way we do it is expensive. It doesn't give 100% coverage, and it puts people in harm's way. And plus now with the coronavirus, it's just that little bit more difficult to monitor the ocean. So that's why we're here. Thanks to Defence Innovation Hub and the Australian Defence Force, we have a contract to build 5 of these. Beth is the first of 5 next generation Bluebottles that will, over the next 2 years, be deployed to various areas of operation off Western Australia and Northern Territory to do different jobs. And those jobs are important. And if people say to me, what's the future hold? What's it going to look like in 2 years? Well, Ocius has lived Moore's law for the last 20 years, which is that things get better and half the cost every 2 years. So if you ask me where we're going to be in 2 years, I'll say we'll be twice as good as we are now. And the engineers will laugh at that. And that'll be an overestimation, I'm sure. But if you ask me where we're going to be in 10 or 15 years when the frigates and the subs come along, I don't think anybody here can predict where we're going to be, because Moore's law also has that miracle of compound interest with it, such that you put the grain of rice on the chessboard and it doubles each one. So if by the time we get to 10 or 15 years out, I don't think anybody's going to be able to predict where the sensors, these platforms, the intelligence on board, the AI, and the networking and the integration of this big data will be. And I would underestimate that. I don't think anybody here can estimate where that'll be. So that's why we're here at the University of New South Wales. We're based here. Thanks, Professor Ian, for coming. We are working on projects here every year for the last 4 years. We're also working with the Charles Darwin University, studying climate and oceanography. We're also working with Thales, with the arrays, to embed that into our system, so we've got a sovereign capability to do exciting things. We're working with the New South Wales government, the DIN project, and we've got a project going now to embed sensors into our sails to make the whole sail an array. And we're working with DST Group to use the Bluebottle as a gateway node so that things in the air can talk to things under the water. So we're also working with a lot of people online who are helping us, their partners or their suppliers or subcontractors. And I want to thank everybody for helping us make this happen. And while I'm thanking people, I'd like to thank my crew. Lloyd Breckenridge is our chief engineer, and in the software world, you'd say he's a ×10 sort of person. And he ably leads the team with Peter Vladacek, our lead software engineer, who's probably primarily responsible for getting us the AMSA approval to run in the EEZ. And my team, Matt, Maddie, Ryan, Tom, Ruth, who's online, there's Kevin and Thomas, who are not here. But I'd like to thank them. I'd like to thank my board, Scott, Rick, and Andrew, for their support. And last but not least, thank my shareholders, who we wouldn't be here without them. Which brings me to thanking my chairman and Mark. It's a great pleasure to have you and Jill do the honours. Probably many people here don't need to be introduced to Mark, but Mark has been a shareholder in Ocius since 2000, and in 2013 he stepped into the role of chairman, filling some very big shoes from the ex-chairman, Honourable Bob Hawke, after whom we named the last Bluebottle. So for those of you who don't know Mark, Mark was the CEO of 2 Australian mining companies and also the CEO of prestigious industry association, Australian Business, and also is an Olympic sailor representing us in 1972 and 76 at the Olympics, and is a world champion in 3 classes of boats, which I find a remarkable achievement. So with Mark's experience and knowledge, his help to us as a team and our board has been absolutely fantastic. For me, he's helped give a helicopter view of the company, and also he's also has the ability to come down and get hands-on in things that he knows something about. and I want you all to later admire the trailer, because Mark said to me Mark said to me in 2017, "You're very busy building the boat. I will help you with the launch and recovery system, commonly known as a trailer." But what this does is it enables us to have 2 people driving a RTA registered car anywhere in Australia and launch the Bluebottle from a boat ramp. And our better funded competitors, and this is one of our unique selling features, as well as power and payload and the winch and other things, but our better funded competitors in America, they can't do that. They need a boat to take them out, or they need a massive crane. So Mark, thank you. And the last thing I'd say is, Mark, the other great pleasure of knowing you for the last 20 years is that my wife Susie and I have got to know Carolyn Elizabeth Bethwaite, and I think everyone we've ever spoken to and all agree that she was truly a remarkable woman. So on that note, and without further ado, I'll pass you the